Let's get right to Michael. Sorry, I can't get that out of my head. Um, Michael Infante um, is a truly inspirational person to me. I love his positive vibe on Facebook and the things that he posts, but I also love playing with him. And we got a chance to play with him at Gorilla. I mean, not Gorilla, but at a Moffat day before yesterday, and I got to see how he interacted with the young lady who was playing and Ben, hit and then the kid. I can't
Noah, I think was his name.
Noah, yeah, Noah and Robert, and but I got to see how Mike interacted and taught these kids how to play, and it's just stuff that the technical thing I don't really think about it. I just go out there and do it. But Mike had all these little tips and things, and I actually learned a lot from it, just personally. But anyway, welcome to the show, Michael. Thanks
Hey
for
guys, how
agreeing to
y'all
come
doing?
on and talk to us, man. We've been looking forward to this. I have personally. I got lots of questions for you, but how you doing, man?
Doing great, doing great. Just relaxing at the house. I appreciate y'all, asking me to do this. It's a real honor. I mean, you guys are doing some great work for not even the disc golf community, which y'all do great for that, but I mean, just for the charities that y'all have been doing. I mean, it's amazing that, as disc golfers that we can help other people out because we are a big, tight group, and community where we can do that. So I appreciate that, guys.
That's right. And I wanted to take you back several years, and I wanted to ask you if you had played that Moody's. I think it was a match play event. Did you ever go out to Moody's out there in Bastrop?
No, I've been to Dave Moody's
Y-
place.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I love
Okay.
that court.
All right. Here's the memory I have, and you maybe you can correct me, but I was done with my matches and I was playing terrible and I was in a bad way. It was like partying and I wasn't in a good spiritual place. And I look over there at the truck and you're sitting there too and you're pounding beers too. And I got the same feeling from you that I had for myself. And I think we were both vacating that place. But in my memory, that was the last time I saw you as that person. And ever since then, man, I've seen this change in you and physically and spiritually and mentally and everything about your game just has, I mean, you've always been a good player, but it seems like something happened. And I'm just curious if you would want to talk about it, you can let me know what happened. Why the change. um
I guess like you said, pounding those beers. We were out, and I wasn't even competing back then. We were playing. It was a hobby that we did while getting drunk and doing other things. And some days I'd throw some good rounds, some days I wouldn't. And I guess the truth of it is, one morning I rolled out of bed and was tired. 30 something years of drinking, playing golf, traveling all over the place. You know, uh, I wouldn't say spiritually rich at that moment, but I had what I needed in life, place to stay, a job, a car, whatever, a boat, and I had hobbies. But inside I just woke up tired one day. So the truth is, I got down on my knees and I asked God to take away everything that I didn't need anymore that was hindering my life. A lot of things left, a lot of friends, the alcohol. From that day, ah, everybody says this is big day that you stop drinking or you just do whatever. I think it was April 23rd, 24th was the morning I woke up and did. I haven't had a drop since. And
what
I
year
had
was
some
that?
struggles at it. What's that?
What year was that?
Uh, Man, it's been 4 years now.
Okay.
So April, yeah, 4 years this April. So, and it's been a crazy ride. You see things different, and when you start doing something like that, you look into it, or you should. So I started reading into it. Okay, after 6 months, I'm gonna be a little better. After 18 months, I'm gonna have a lot more clarity in my thinking and in my thoughts. And of course, you're gonna go through your withdrawals or whatever. And I had a few, but I mean, I'm way past that. So once I got that clearer mind, and when I would put my mind to doing something, I mean, I've always been a good at what I was doing, whether it was my job or whatever. But then this hobby that, like you said earlier, that we love to play, it started going, okay, so now I have more time to put effort into it. And that's, I think, my game has elevated a little bit lately. And it's gotten more fun, you know, it's more memorable because I can remember some. I mean, me and the Jack Brook brothers that we used to be, we went to Iowa, I think it was in '04, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
don't
four
remember.
worlds.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
World.
I love. I is Des
Yeah,
Moines.
yeah, great courses. I remember
Definitely.
not much of it. Not much of it. 22-hour drive with my friend Jake Walsdorf. We went to the state fair. Buddy of mine, Joel Greer, we call him my twin. We were born on the same day, same hospital, same year, everything. And it was during our birthday. And I don't, I don't remember competing and not that I was blacked out. We were just having a good time. So I wasn't there to win worlds. I was there to party for a week with my 10 buddies. But I was like, man, now, it's totally different. It's an enlightenment, that by the grace of God, he just said, okay, I'll do it for you. And it was that easy, So there's a
That's
lot
amazing.
more into it. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you did miss out on some really good memories. And I lived close to there in Kansas City. So we drove and played the Des Moines Challenge a lot and played in Pickard and Ewing and Grandview and all those great courses there. Just unbelievable disc golf. In fact, if you ever want to make a road trip, I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, I definitely would. And I've got to get back to Kansas. I played Waterworks and love that course. I think it was Masters last year or 2 years ago. Got to play with some of the legends, and these guys. The amazing thing is that this disc golf community that we have, a lot of people will follow. I'm not that. I'm fishing. I'm biking. I'm running. I'm not watching YouTube videos of disc golf because I want to be on one one day. But
Hmm.
I mean, the John Brookses and I can't come names going. These guys, they knew who I was when I got there. And I was just flattered out. They're like, yeah, you're killing it in Texas. I'm like, yeah, we're not in Texas no more, though, right? I mean, I get to play y'all on this great course. Amazing people, it's just been a blessing, here lately, these last 3 or 4 years to be able to meet the world class players, it's kind of nice.
Well, let's talk about the killing it in Texas. 34 wins. Is that what we got? That's what I
I
was
think
looking at.
somewhere in that area.
34 wins. And I'm telling you, man, I got one this summer finally, and it was the first time in 7 years. So no, it's not easy to win tournaments. It doesn't matter what division you're playing in. 34 wins, and then also just over $2,000 already in 2020. You're the COVID king, man. You're really congratulations.
Thank you. When I started playing, I was winning some smaller ones, and then I would go and have that flash of greatness or whatever. And the great thing that the PDJ has gone back and rated some of the rounds that we've thrown back in the past before it all became a big thing. And I would notice that, man, I was throwing some 1,005 rated rounds back in the day, and then I
Mhm.
throw a 870 because I then went to the parking lot and drank some beer,
Mhm.
ate a big burger, or we sat around and I didn't rest and I didn't stretch or do anything. But
Mhm.
now it's when I go, I set out to win. Back in the past, I didn't wasn't there for the trophies. I was there for the cash, and it wasn't a lot. We were not making a lot of money. We're not on that level. But now it's like I want to go and win, and I want to play my best. And it's a challenge that I see the younger guys, they're worried about who they're playing. I am absolutely playing nobody. I'm trying to beat the course with what I have. And if I can do that, then and if I happen to be on top and get the number one whatever they got that day, then that's a blessing. But it's
Hmm.
really a challenge to play the course because there's some great design courses out there.
Well, that's interesting that you said that. I got in on the wait list to the tournament and over there at Moffat on the gorilla thing. Looking forward to playing that. And Chris Griff called me this morning and he said that he goes, I hope you don't mind. You'll be playing with some, a rec player and a girl, and he named all. And he goes, so you'll be playing the course. And when he said that, I was like, Chris, I'm always playing the course,
Yeah,
But how do you
very
think
true.
that affects you, not having your competitors right there in front of you? Um, can you? Do you think that would kind of hinder your
You know,
competitive edge?
and it's really it's inside of you to do what you're supposed to do on the course. We're looking for birdies. We're looking for good, clean, safe landing zones to where we're can score. We played Winwood this last weekend, and I played with the 40-year-old division guys, and I think one pro. And but that live scoring, these guys, everybody's watching the live scoring, so you really can watch your competitors. I happen to be on the last card, and I know I got out hot. I birdied the first one, and then just went on a tear through that little trench thing.
Uh-huh.
I think I got 9 out of the first 11 birdies, and later,
Throwing a spider, I'm guessing.
yeah, it was a spider, the AVR3, DX AVR3, and the spider. I'd say anything over 320 to 350 is going to be a spider. Anything under that will be a putter of some sort, beat up, brand new, or kind of mid mid used. And I carry three spiders, three. Well, I got six putters in the bag, but and that a lot of the competitors that we were playing, once I got finished and that we talked, they were like, "Man, we seen you lighten it up in the very beginning." And even Tanner was like, "Yeah, man." He goes, "I was watching you to see if you birdied. I think it's hole 20 to decide what he was going to do on the baseball field."
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
was
I
there.
don't.
I was on his
Yeah. So
card.
yeah. So
We
I'm
we
really
were
not.
watching you.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I'm really not. I don't watch. I don't watch. I want to just continue to move forward. And that's something that the reason why I've been wanting to play in the open division in this area and probably some other places is the competition is better. These younger guys, Tanner just turned 28. Freddie
Hmm.
Mesa, he's a beast. I mean, how old is this kid? And I'm playing against him.
Hmm.
You know,
30.
they have a bad day, or I have a great day, or I have a bad day, and they have a great day. It's still the competitor of the course. So
Hmm.
I don't think it really hinders me to not play with my competitors because really we want to do the best that we can. So it's shine and let them see your score and let them watch.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, you said something the other day when we played at Moffat that stuck out to me. And now what you just said just then, you said something about most players are not comfortable throwing their putters in their mid ranges. And you just said something that I know, especially with my division and up, that you throw them 350 and less, you're still looking at throwing a mid range or a putter. I know you talk about that TL, but and you just said you have 8 of them in your bag, and I know you're known for your putting, but what is it that makes you so comfortable throwing that putter 300, 325, or thinking that that's what you're going to get out of it? Or is that, am I off there with that?
No. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's the big rim disc. I'm 19 miles from the beach. Growing up here, in Santa Fe, me and a buddy of mine, we'd hitchhike to the beach. You know, a couple of bucks in our pocket, grab a 12 pack with it. We had a frisbee, the Whammo, and so we're out there in the 20-mile-an-hour wind spinning that big Whammo. So and then when I found disc golf, I preferred a big rim disc, and I'm throwing a fan grip like I would throw that. So it's spin, and it's just I feel more comfortable. So and that's what I try to tell people: find something that you're comfortable with, master that, and then stick with it. Just hammer down on them with that. And the putters are they're so predictable for me. I could, when they're brand new, they're going to go out and they're going to fade and they're going to turn or whatever. Ben's going to kill me for saying that. I always say turn and it's supposed to be fade, but the hyzer, the Anheuser. Jake Walsdorf said, "Dude, you don't know what hyzer means." I'm like, "No, but I know if I throw it real hard that way, it'll go over there." That's all I really care about. It's the technology of it. I don't care. I just want to do it. And with the spider, when we started that, everybody's throwing the rocks. And the rock just didn't feel good in my hand. And I don't know where or who gave me a spider. So I've never bagged a rock. I have some, and I had some good ones. The 9-time Ken Climo world champions, and I still have one. And I only put it in my bag if I was in trouble. I would just, because it was 180, I'd bang it through the woods, in a thumb or in whatever. But it's the confidence in that big rim disc. It's about height. I want to throw it up high and let it do what it does. So it's really just a confidence thing.
Have you ever thrown the Zephyr?
No, I don't think I'm that old, Dave.
Well, the youngsters are throwing them now, and the guys in the match play are doing it, and
So, who
they
makes
they
it?
were throwing this Zephyr and this other really big disc, like a frisbee, and
Yeah.
killing with it. And this
Condor.
thing is 200.
Condor.
Condor is another one, 200
Yeah, the
gram.
Condor's an older one. No, that's the thing. A lot of these kids you see them, they'll have these multi bags of 5 or 6 different disc makers. I grew up with an Innova, however you want to say it. So that's what I bag, and I'll throw it if you got one, to see what it does.
Have you ever been sponsored or asked to be on Innova's team? It seems like you'd be a
No,
really good spokesman for them.
And that's the thing that the score wise, I believe I'm there. I have a lot of sponsored buddies, JD Ramirez, Jay Redding,
JD.
all these.
I love JD.
I mean, these guys are like, "Hey, man, you put my name down." One time, I want to play for the fun. I have a regular job so I sent an email one time. They said, "Hey, yeah, you got a great career. You're killing it." Okay. That's all that was said. So I'm like, cool. I'm sponsored by Ben Allen. It's my disc guy. He gives me, he don't give them to me. He should. Uh, he knows my game better than I do. The fade and the glide on the disc, he'll like, "Uncle Michael, this is what you need." I mean, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, he put a T-bird in my hand. I was like, "Nah, I don't like those." I threw a couple 15 years ago, didn't care for them. And he just stated, "Well, this is what Ken Climo's been killing you with for years." So I was like, "Give me that."
Mm-hmm.
And I throw a T-bird now for distance. And it's odd, but it's true. I actually took all my destroyers out of my bag. I think 4 months ago, I put a destroyer back into my bag and it's failed me 3 times. And I don't, it's like, okay, so I don't need it.
Well, I go out and I'll throw for distance practicing, and that T-bird will be right there, right behind the destroyers and anything fast that I've got. So it's not a
Yeah,
bad,
definitely.
it's not a
And
bad thing just bagging T-birds for sure.
yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too. I mean, if we're in the woods and the woodlands or on the north side where y'all play, is it's control. So I can control them a little bit better. The higher speed. Now I throw a firestorm in a headwind. It's a 14 speed, and they're just amazing. And all I can ever say is it's amazing for me. Some people, man, it dumps out on me or it's not as strong. In a tailwind, it's a destroyer. But in a headwind, it's a jet plane. I could just blast it out. It'll come out and come right back and lay down at 450, maybe more. I'm not positive. I don't look at the distances, but it's such a disc that Tony Pugh gave it to me one time at Waco. He just played around and he's like, "Man, you got to try this." I was like, "Dude, it's 30-mile-an-hour wind." He goes, "Throw it into the headwind." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, actually, I told him I didn't want to throw it because I didn't want to go get it because I was tired, being in the Masters division. He goes, "Throw it one time." I was like, "Okay." And I've been on them ever since. And it's basically finding what's good for you.
I saw you throw that one out at Alvin when we did the doubles thing. I saw you throw
Yeah.
that Firestorm a lot out there. What's your
And it's,
favorite
it's the
course on the south side?
south side is Evergreen on the south side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's way south. Yeah.
Yeah. So Evergreen is such a beautiful course.
Yeah.
It it's so it's kept up. It's like a ball. It used to be a ball golf course. I mean, so it has water. It has elevation change. It has putter shots, mid range shots. It has big bombing shots, annies, hyzers. So for me, I want a course that's going to challenge every aspect of my game. I don't want to just go out and play a little hook, hook, hook course, and they're good to go play because you're going to need them. But Evergreen, I would have to say in this area, Texas Army Trail is my favorite course in this area, and that's
Really?
just
Okay.
it's another one of those technical courses you have to play. You have to be ready to play. So
That's probably why I don't like it.
but if you really
Hey,
want
I'm
to play the
thinking the
best,
same thing, Chris.
Yeah.
I, I need to go out there. I need to
Yeah.
get out
well,
there.
I tell you what, if I could play any course every day, it would be Roy G in Austin. If
Yeah.
you've ever got to play Roy G when it's
Yeah.
cut and clean,
Yeah.
the beauty in that course and the technical shots that you have to shoot, it's amazing. I mean,
Have you played Flat Creek out there in the Austin area? It's kind of Marble Falls.
oh, that's where the winery's at.
Yeah, the wineries
Yeah,
out there.
I took a A tier down out there.
I love that
Yeah,
course. I went
Neil, that
back.
is
I
a
played 2 consecutive weekends. It's a long drive too. That's
yeah,
like
it's a long
an
drive. It's a
hour from
great course.
Austin.
Yeah,
And I
it's
went back the next weekend.
yeah. You want to make a trip to that? Let me know. We'll get Neil Damber to meet us out there. He'll
Oh,
play with us.
definitely. I loved it.
Hey,
And
Yeah,
before we get too far,
there's some good footage, YouTube footage of the super pros playing out there at Flat Creek too as well.
yeah.
hey, before we get too far away from that Evergreen, of course, I had the privilege of being able to follow you and this man below me on a round out there. You threw one of the most incredible rollers I'd ever seen. But besides that, I remember a quote that you said the other day when we were at Moffett about luck and the lottery. And the more and more I thought about that, you really prefaced it by saying it was more about your talent and your skill. So obviously, based upon what you had said earlier, when you go into that tournament and you said that you're not playing against a certain person, but you're playing against yourself and the course, you just talked about you just a second ago. You don't pay attention to the score. But for some reason, when we finished at Evergreen, you knew exactly where you were and where everybody else was.
Well, as a competitor, you should know that. I mean, there should be some point where you could run a putt or something like that. If you're not gonna, it's not gonna cost you any more strokes because as a professional, somewhat they say that's what our rating is or whatever. I could
You
I
are.
could run at a 40 or 50 foot putt, and if I'm 20 past, I should make all of my 20-foot putts. So that thing about luck, everybody always says, good luck today, good luck today. I don't want my luck to make me win this. I want my skill and my disc selection and, win the tournament or play a good round. You talk about that roller. I think I throw a sidewinder out there. It's the understable disc that I can throw as hard as I want and put it out there and let it do what it does. But now that is a luck. So it's about angles. If it hits on the wrong angle and it's too straight up, then it cans out on you and you get nothing. And then I go, when I have a bad roller, you know what I go? I could have threw a putter that far. So so that's a part of it. But now, knowing everybody's score as a competitor, you should know that because first it's probably good for you to know the scores that you're playing against and that the card is right. And I don't subtract or add scores. I'm a 54 guy. If it's 18 par 54, if I'm one under, I'm 55. or 53. If I'm 200, I'm 52. I know Dave's 51. He's got me by one. I don't count him as a 3, a 2, or 4. I'm just a one number. So I only have 4 numbers in my head if there's 4 players, and I'm just adding and subtracting onto that.
Kind
And
of
that's
quite like
just
poker.
yeah, definitely, definitely, and it's a numbers thing, and when you talk about that luck thing, it's so a bad luck would be picking a putter that's a little beat up and expecting it to do something else. I don't want to play my game with expectations of wanting. I want to know that this spider is going to come out or this putter is going to fly as straight as I want it, and I want it to hit in that landing zone. So for me, off the tee box, if I can get to the basket, I open the basket up. Basket's in the middle, 10 to 15 on each side, make a circle. I got a 30-foot circle that I need to land in to make a 15-foot putt, and I'm out. If I miss that putt, that's no big deal. I don't carry that with me. I did what I wanted to do. And I just missed a putt. No big deal. We're gonna miss them. So
This is something I've noticed playing with you. I've had a chance to play a lot of rounds in the last over the last year, and whereas before we never really played together. And I think it was out at Briscoe when I think first time I don't know, that may have been the first time we ever played together, playing on in doubles, and you were playing. I can't remember who you were playing with, but the one thing I noticed, and it's something that I'm working towards, is how do you leave that anger wherever you leave it? How do you leave that home? Because like for me, I always say, you're playing golf. Why you want to get mad? But yet I go out and I get mad, but I don't want to get mad. But it happens. How do you, and I've noticed that with you, I never get this. I have this great vibe when I play with you, and I love that. That's what I want to be when I grow
that
up.
it that's and that's the thing too, Dave. When I was a kid playing this game, you were the guy. I don't know how to do that, Dave. Him, and then when I was like, man, that guy knew my name. He said, "Hey, Michael," or "Hey, Mike." So that's why we didn't play because you was in a better division, and then I think you took a break, and then so it's a pleasure to play with you. I mean, your putting and your game. So I'll get back to the anger thing. The structurally watching your game is so you're a lefty. When we come up to a lefty hole, I can guarantee Dave's going to get a deuce. So I have to go, what do I need to do? That's a part of your game that you should go, okay. And mentally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be playing his game because he's going to get the lefty holes. I'm going to get the righty holes. If we ever team up as partners, I'll tell you what, y'all have that match play doubles and partners. I'll take Himmy. We'll play anybody and everybody at any course and bring your money,
Hey,
fellas.
I'll take that.
Amen to that.
You heard it here. You heard it here. This is my
we talked
guy.
about we talked about that earlier. So so going back to the getting a better Michael because Michael of old was I don't know, not such a good guy, and I'd carry that anger with me, and I never knew that I could lay up and just take one stroke. I didn't have to go for it and take 2 or 3. So through the meditations that I started doing, well, I've always been a good spiritual guy. The good Lord is always number one. But at some point, you have to take care of yourself and your body and your own mind. Because if you carry that with you, if you come to the course and you're hungover, which I've done 1,000 times, my game is off. If I've eaten wrong and I'm bad and I gotta, even if I just got to go to the bathroom, I've got to hold it. I'm gonna be off. So through the meditation and breathing it in and breathing it out, I only want to take in good, and I want to breathe out the bad. So that's how I can leave those behind. I mean, I can hit a tree and go, All I'm worried about is, man, that just changed the contour of that disc. That disc is not going to be the same as I know. So now I have to take it back out and relearn it. But it's seeing people over the years that have played a great game. Like you say you get a good vibe with me. I've played with guys like that have a great vibe that are killing it. Alex Hughes, to mention this guy, he flipped these discs up and they're beautiful. It's like, man, I want to do that. No, I don't. I don't want to flip a disc. I want to throw it power. I say I have a power finesse game. I want to throw it as hard as I can with the big rim disc and do what I do. But that anger is something that we have to leave behind, because as soon as you carry it to the next hole, it's with you. And then you're going to do it again. When we started out playing, we'd go play these courses and it would rain, and everybody like, dude, you got 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. And I got some cleats in the back of the truck. So if we're on this course and it's raining and you slip, that's 1 stroke I got you by. And I always say that I got you by 2, because you're going to slip, that's 1. And then on one another throw down the line, you're going to think about that slip and you're going to mess up. And that's 2 strokes I'm going to get you by. So me with them old cloddy cleats that are packing that mud in there and I'm not slipping. So you have to prepare for that. But with the anger, it's the meditation, the yoga, the allowance of just it's so much of a zen that it's so hard to explain. I just want to be at peace with myself and understand that things happen. I accept it. I accept everybody for what they are. And it's not that easy all the time, because there's some people that get on you and I get on people's nerves, but leaving that behind is the easiest way to not carry it with you. Breathe it in, let it go.
You had a wonderful teaching moment actually at Moffitt that I remember, and just about what you're saying. I won't express to whom you were saying it about, but you were like, he gets so mad missing a putt, and all we were doing was practicing. And I just really thought, as I took that back in, is I play a lot of uncompetitive rounds and still will get agitated with myself with those missed shots, and especially those missed putts. But I thought that was a wonderful teaching moment when you said that. She was like, and I won't say you said it about, because you're teaching him. The young man is up and coming, really good, great skill level, but he was getting frustrated with himself. And you said that. And I was like, you know what? It's so important that somebody like you and Hemi express that to these kids. And it was just a wonderful teaching moment, the way you stressed that to him and presented it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and when we're out practicing, that's what we're doing. We're practicing. A lot of times we'll go out and we'll throw 2 or 3, but I want to play score sometimes. I just want to play the score, and a missed putt is a missed putt. That's, when you're in competition, I'd understand. Okay, I missed that putt, but not to the fact where it bothers some of you or it changes your aura per se, because you have to throw out good to get good back in, and it's just a putt. It's just a putt. Now if you miss a 2-footer, 3-footer, that's on you. 15-footer. We're not guaranteed to make all of those. I like to say inside 20 foot, I'm gonna make all of them. If I shoot 50 of them, I may make 48 of them. But you have to just let that go.
I have a putting game that I start at 15 feet, and every time I miss one of those, I'm grateful because I realize it's telling me, hey, don't, stop doing your routine at any point in the game, because that's when you miss that one. Once you get out of your routine, you shank a 15-foot putt because you're not in that normal flow. What got you into the yoga thing? How did that come about?
It's I don't know how I can say it. It's just people in your life. They everybody that brings something positive into your life. I had a friend of mine. She was into it, and then it was something that I'd always wanted to really do. So, I mean, and it's just been hard and heavy here lately. I went through some injuries too, so I was just reaching out for other things. I think about 3 years ago, I was playing all these tournaments. I was doing well, playing well, and my ankle would swell up. So I started not wanting to go to a doctor because, they're going to, oh, it's broke. Let's fix it. Let's cut your leg off, do all this. So I started just doing more stretching, and it just got into be a habit. and like you say about the putting, my putting routine is the same. It's if I'm stretched in the morning, if my mind is right, if I've walked through the course in my mind when I'm sitting there in a simple yoga pose or simply meditating. Sometimes my meditations are guided by someone, and sometimes they're just me
Mm-hmm.
accepting the course and knowing what disc I'm going to throw on what hole and not changing that. I don't want to go out there and go, what am I going to do here? Before I get to the course or while I'm in the truck or while I'm driving. And that's the thing too. A lot of time when I'm driving to a course, I'm jamming some Tool or something like that. And my mind is just, it's so not thinking of anything other than T box one, green TL3, putter, T box two, putter, and sticking to the plan. You talk about those 15-foot putts. Dave, you ever walk up to a putt and know you're going to miss?
Yes, all the time.
And that's the problem that gets me is I walk up, I'll set, I'll go through my routine, and then I'll reset. I'll walk away. I'll walk up to the basket and touch it, do something, step forward, go, okay, this is what I want to do, and go back, do my whole routine again, and still miss the putt and go. You knew you was going to miss that putt. What took you so long? It's sometimes you're just going to miss.
What is that, man? One thing I was kind of curious too to ask you about, because you won, in a really good field, man. You beat some really good youngsters last weekend and at Wynwood, and I think about this a lot. I talked to Chris about it too, because I feel like physically I got it. I can still hang with these youngsters. I can still do that, but sometimes it doesn't happen. And I wonder if I've gotten into a mental rut, or if like there's some kind of demon that's behind me going, you're gonna miss this one, and this is that demon that I brought with me through the years, and I haven't been able to get rid of him. Like just like old age demon. I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
definitely.
And you seem to have overcome that gracefully, and it's fun to watch. Hey, one other thing I wanted to mention, just I'm watching some of the comments down below, and I noticed that Chris Sprague has been commenting, and he's a guy that I've wanted to have on the show forever. Another guy like yourself who I just have total respect for, especially in the category of character, and he's one of the really cool characters in the sport, in terms of having character and respecting the sport and the whole nature of it and the people and all that. But I noticed earlier he posted that his birthday is April 23rd of 75, which is the day you quit drinking. I thought that was pretty
There you
interesting.
go.
Chris is
Yeah.
gonna Sprague is gonna be on with us next week, probably Friday, if we can get him in there. But he's another, like yourself, multi. He's got over 100 wins on the PGA Tour. He won, um, you know, I'm not sure if he's won a major, but anyway, I just wanted to shout out to Chris Sprague. Thanks for listening tonight. I really appreciate you chiming in. I think that's a really cool coincidence that your birthday is on the same day Mike quit drinking.
Yeah, definitely.
But back to that
You,
question, do you think
yeah,
that is there some kind of thing, that some kind of way you've overcome those demons?
that's the thing. It's such a hard thing to say that it's a demon or if it's anything. So with a positive vibe and a positive outlook, that demon wouldn't be carried with you. So you have to have that positivity, and that stems from me going, I'm not worried about anybody else. I accept what practice I've put into. I call it putting in the work. I put in the work. When I'm going to a major, or like when we're playing Waco, I'm putting in 100 putts a day, uphill, downhill, crosswind, headwind. I'm throwing my mid ranges, 60, 70 times. So I guess that demon would be that little bit of doubt that you carry. You can't carry. That's not my burden to carry. It's something that they say. So
Well, they call it, like you hear about it in PGA, where they develop the yips, and like they always say the old guys can't they can't pull it off like the youngsters because of that, because they get the yips because they can't overcome the mental side of making a 3-foot putt. You know, for them it's a 2 and 3 foot putt. For us it'd be like a 15-20 footer. um you know, how do you get through that? For me personally, I think that the path is, for me it's yoga and meditation. It's the only way that I've, bounced back from being out for a couple of years and had some pretty good rounds, and some 1,000+ rounds, and played pretty well, got a couple wins and stuff like that. But it really, the path that I'm on it's I feel younger today than I did a year ago for sure. And it's yoga and meditation. And I think it's just kind of culminated finally. It's getting to the point. It amazes me every day when I get to the mat. It amazes me, my gratitude for the yoga. It's like I feel so much uh thanks and gratitude that it's given me so much life. And I want to shout out that to anybody who happens to be watching, because it seems like a mystical kind of, hippie kind of thing, but it's not. It's your body and your breathing, and it's your best tool. And anyway, I see that
Yeah,
in your
and
game.
that's most definitely. I mean, whenever y'all ask me to be on here, I was like, man, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to? So I wrote a few notes, or just a little thing that I wanted to go. Of course, God's grace and mercy for me, that had took the real demon out. I mean, that's a whole nother story. But it's the positivity of appreciation, being grateful for where I'm at, compassion and love, not only for everybody else, but for myself. And that's the thing. It's such an easier thing to understand, the stretching and the things that I do with yoga, or it just makes it so much easier because I don't have any expectations for myself or for anything, and I don't want anything from anybody. So my thing with playing with these kids, it's the only thing that they're going to get me on is a little bit of distance. But and it not, I mean, yeah, your touring pros are going to get me by a bunch, but these younger kids, these 19, 18-year olds, we can still play with them because their mental capacity sometimes will be like, man, this old guy just do it just as far as I have. I mean, I don't want to mention Mason Ford's name, but we played in Gonzales, and kid goes, man, you're broken. I'm like, what are you talking about? Come off the hill. I don't know the number of the thing. We both smashed one down there. And this was 2 years back. He's like, there's your disc, and there's my disc, and yours is ahead of mine off the tee box. He goes, something's wrong with you. I'm like, no, it's just good equipment. It's just good equipment. I'm throwing the right disc on that. And I think at the time it was I want to say a regular TL, just an old TL that I want to play a lot of glide. So they're playing this big hook, all speed. I want to play that lazy old man down the hill, let it roll this way, and then come out. And it was funny just to watch it go.
Hey,
Man,
there's
something's wrong with you.
there's some there's some science to that rationale as to why you throw it like that. And I was talking to Chris about this the other day. When you throw that spider shot down the gut, like say at Little E or at Tat or something like that, and you throw that spider shot down the line straight, it's always going to be ending up toward the basket. Whereas if you throw a hook, like you call it, it's going to skip away left or
Yeah,
right, always. And so your chances of saving strokes or making putts, making long shots are greater because it's always pushing toward the basket. Whereas at one point, a hook shot is going to swing by the basket. And so
definitely.
you're always playing towards the basket. That equates to strokes. I was
Yeah.
reading my notes here, and Chris Sprague he's chiming in about some stuff, and he did say he did win a major in mixed doubles, so world title. Congrats, Chris. But yeah, just yesterday talking about that down the line shot, and I'm slightly jealous of that spider shot. as because I lost my warden, and that my warden was my spider disc, kind of my straight flying putter. I need to get that back in the bag, but I've been having some good luck with my judge. But yeah, I really appreciate that shot.
Yeah, and the thing with that too, for me, especially in the wooded course, like you Little E and stuff like that, even Wetwood. So if you're throwing a high speed driver and you're trying to get it to do something, that's another thing that I wrote down in my notes is I'm never taking anything from the course. I'm not trying to overpower anything or take something from the. So this course has only got such a big hole. I want to just smooth something through there, and I play through a line of say 220. Where does that spider need to be right before it flattens out and gets down by the basket? So, and that's my game too. Is and I think me and Chris was talking about it the other day. It was my flick. Oh no, we were talking about today before we got on. I don't flick because I don't know how. So but I know how
Amen.
to throw a spider. I know how to throw a spider. So I'm only doing what my capability is and what I'm comfortable with. So I'm not asking the disc to do anything that it's not normally would do, and I'm not trying to take anything from the course. The course is the course is the champion. They don't have these nice courses so that anybody can just come out and kill it. I mean, you go to Dogwood, there's a sign that says, if you're not a skilled player, you shouldn't be on this course, or something to that effect. So, you have to not try to take from the course. You just have to accept what it'll give you.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
good
spiders,
advice. I
yeah,
I was leading the MPT after the first round, and the whole one is a flick shot for me, which I've played it well. I've parked it before. I've ace ran that, that sidearm shot. But I decided to go ahead and do it. Man, all week I thought, man, I should have thrown my fuse. I should have thrown that Michael Infante shot, because that's what I believe in, that's what I trust. And as you were talking about that, going with what my mind was going towards Ken Climo. I mean, how many 12
yeah,
championships? He won like
yeah,
9 in a row. He never
yeah,
flicked. He never
yeah.
ever had a power flick.
I've
And
never
I'm
got
sure
nowhere to
he
beat
could
that
do it,
value.
he could do
Yeah,
everything, but that's not what he did. That wasn't his game. So
yeah,
he never
definitely. I
did it.
mean, the easiest thing is to play your game, and this selection, play your game, what you're confident in. And flicking is not, one of my things. If you see me flicking on a course, it's because I'm in a bind, because I'm in trouble, So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So,
if I can accept or
or it's inside of 250, I can I can do
that's
that.
long for me.
I'm good
Yeah,
with the
that's
200 and that little, flick it through the woods, kind of a shot like hole 7 at Bear Branch. Hey, we need to play that, by the way. You said you never
yeah,
played it.
definitely.
That surprises me that I love that. That's an Andy design, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's the 4th time it's been redesigned, and I think it's amazing. I love what she's done out there. I love that
yeah.
course.
Andy has some great courses. She's really, you know, I mean, I think she got in the Hall of Fame last year. I mean, it's
Yep,
amazing to
yep, she
have that
is.
class of people in our area that,
Yeah.
so
Houston
yeah.
rocks, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I when I first moved here, we thought that, because I've lived all over Texas. I lived in every town except for San Antonio, like Dallas, Fort Worth, Lubbock, um, you know, San Angelo,
Austin.
Austin, 10 years in Austin, everywhere. And so when we found out, my wife had the opportunity to move here 10, 12 years ago, we always consider this the armpit of the world. And no offense, no, and I say that because I can say that because I don't believe that now. I fell in love with it, and I don't want to leave now. We had plans on going to the hill country or ending up back in Austin or Weatherford or something, but I just like it. And I appreciate the disc golf here, and the community. The disc golf community is better than anywhere in the world. There's no better support for disc golf, I don't think, than around here in the Houston area. It's amazing.
You know, the disc golf community is an amazing group of people. I mean, you can go anywhere and just get online and go, hey, man, I'm looking for, I want to play a local course. And people will pop up or they'll start tagging other people that live in that area. I think in '03, I went to Worlds in Michigan and I just played the week to get there. And people are just, back then, everybody, was just, you had to call somebody, but it was amazing how many different people would just, hey, man, we'll be there, we'll play. So, I mean, it's the love of the game, and it's amazing the group of people that you meet, especially like the chicks chasing chains. I mean, it's amazing to see these ladies have 15, 16 ladies come out every week. I mean, Meredith, all of these ladies that are out there.
Nikki.
And I'll tell you guys, if you're watching the sport and you want to learn, if you're not, watch a lady throw. They don't throw it hard. They're throwing it with effortless and finesse, and they're allowing the disc to do what it does. Yeah, we as guys, we're going to throw it farther and harder, and it's going to go crazy. But if you watch some of these ladies, I'm like, wow, she just cut it through them trees and just let it, you know, she used the disc. Meredith is the example too. I mean, even Chloe, Foster, she's an up and coming. I get to play with all the time. To watch her just throw it, and it's so effortlessly, and their disc selections are slower because they're not trying to throw it like us guys. We're not taking this destroyer or this 14 speed or whatever, trying to smash through these things. It's they're very nice to watch.
Mm-hmm. I got one. We went out there to get some shots and that we could use on the show, and I didn't. We were just having fun, so we ended up just playing around. But I did get that one shot in that short hole because I wanted to get it. I wanted to capture an ace on there, and I saw Chloe throwing it, and I know what you're talking about. She released it, and then I watched me throw, and I just dragged my foot and I decelerated, and everything was all arm. And I was like, man, now I should throw like her, and it would be a lot more fun because then I'd be. I have this problem of reverting back to bad habits, and especially under pressure, when you're in the middle of a competition. But yeah, I love watching. We went out 2 weeks in a row out to Bandit and watched the girls, and watched. The first time we watched the whole round, and second time we just captured about half of it and went home. But it's so cool to see what's happening with chicks chasing chains, and what they're doing nationally, and not just in this area, but they're reaching out and making it to where other ladies can sort of grab hold of the same format and logo, and to push the sport forward for the
So
women.
what is that next thing that they're having, the ladies, the chicks chasing chains? Or they're going to states or something? Is that where y'all were?
Yeah, the Gorilla is sponsoring them for.
Northside Chain Gang. There's quite a few of the clubs that are going to pitch in. West Side, I believe, is going to do so as well. There's like 9, I believe when I looked at it, there's like 8 or 9 of our disc golf community brethren are all going to
amazing
hotels.
That's for Tyler, right?
Or food, or try to find them lodging wherever they're going. Just really trying to support them to get out there. And even I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be paying for a couple of their entry fees as well. So I think that's one thing. But Mike, I wanted to ask you a question, another thing about what we had talked about during that round, and what Dave just kind of talked about is, I know at my age, the most difficult thing I have is for what my coaches used to say, rinse, wash, and repeat. Meaning, do that same thing. Like you were talking about how the ladies don't take so much effort into throwing the disc. It's more about the form and just repeating that over and over again. And you and I had talked about that, and I go, I feel good through about 13, 14 holes. And then I feel my body, because I have different elements than y'all have, breaking down. And you had said something that you already prepare yourself on the course for that. Can you go ahead and invite the rest of us about that?
Well, it's so I just turned 52 in August. Uh, and I've been playing in the 40-year-old divisions for quite some time now. And when you're playing in these courses and these guys are carrying their bags or they're pulling their carts or whatever, and you get to around hole 9 or 10, it's hot, especially when we were playing 2 rounds a day. You start watching your competitors. If you're in it to win it or whatever the thing, watch them. They'll start dragging a little bit. So I do not as much energy drink. I do an all natural ketos energy that I do. So it's a process that I've been on for a long time. And about the ninth hole, I'll finish off the rest of that energy drink, and it's all natural. And it's that little bit of boost and it's that little bit of effort. If you've ever been on the tee box, and you've gotten lazy, imagine doing that 4 or 5 holes, what that'll do to you.
Mhm.
So the exercise, the running, the repetitions, like you say, but in competition, when they go down energy wise, you can't get that back until you fuel your body. So if you're not taking care of your body, it's not going to take care of you. So that energy level. So I wear the Fitbit a lot of times. So I want to keep my heart rate up. If you see me out on the course and I'm jumping up and down, I'm just
Mhm.
bouncing off my toes. I'm just getting my heart rate going because I want my heart pumping good blood, good oxygen to my brain. So I make the right decision. And if you're getting tired, it's the same way. Dehydration. Another thing about dehydration, guys, is we're a community. They making these recycled bottles, these Nalgene bottles. I carry my water with me to wherever and everywhere I go. You'll see a cooler in my truck. Back in the day, it was Coors Light. Today, it's
I remember.
Winwood. You know what? When we played Winwood, I drank 7 of these, and
Mm.
one of them was full of my energy drink, and the other one was pickle juice. I drink a lot of pickle juice. I don't want to cramp up. I mean, I run, so I know that my body's going to cramp up. But eating right will help your game. Just goes back to the if you're tired and hungover, or if you're hungry, or if you're cramping or anything like that, it's a deficiency on your body that's going to affect your brain. Preparation. Be prepared for what you're going to go through for the next 2 hours. Because if a competitor standing beside you and he's prepared, he's probably going to get you. He's probably going to beat you. I
Mhm.
mean, natural skill and talent will play, but if you're tired and you're making bad decisions, it's going to cost you.
Mhm.
Mhm. And a lot of times we don't really think about that as a nutritional or a preparatory kind of thing. We think of it as we're just not very good people, or we're not, like we always cash it in at the end, or, like, you know what I'm saying? We get it like
Yeah.
this weird kind of negative attitude about stuff that sometimes, just like Chris was saying earlier, he picked up on something you said about you making your own luck, and then luck's for the lottery. I mean, uh, with the same at the same time, your attitude and the things that you think about yourself, sometimes you don't think of it as nutrition. You think of it as I always cash it in, or I always mail it in. You just get this
Yeah.
kind of negative sort of overview. And I'm not talking about people who are just kind of struggling. I'm talking about top players do that too. And it's hard to shake off that attitude thing. And I'm not sure where I'm going with that.
Well,
It's just
so
I want to
often
make
you
a
also
point
hear
at it.
people with that excuse where they go, well, I usually I don't start really getting good till I'm 4 holes into it. Oh, I got to warm up and I'm, 6 holes into it and then I'm finally into it. But then they've already wasted those first 4 or 5 holes. I
Yeah.
cannot tell you how many times I play in different divisions than y'all do, but that tends to be a reoccurring theme that you hear over and over in the divisions that I play in. It's always like, oh yeah, I always kind of start off slow. Oh yeah, it's early in the morning, or
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's hot. There's always this oh yeah part to it versus what
Mhm.
Mike was just saying. It's like preparing yourself, not only the physical part and the mental part, but then feeding the system itself. Not only feeding the system before, but taking care of it before, but also tearing, and then in between, especially if you have that second round, which
And yeah, definitely and true. It's just like, you don't want to go to a course and never have practiced it. So because you're not going to be familiar with it, and your body's the same thing. You got to, you know, get your body ready for it. So a lot of times, and I've only told a couple people, a lot of times that, in the 40-year-old in the masters division, they usually start us at 7 o'clock in the morning. We get down to Waco to play the Beast. I'm teeing off and it's still dark. Well, a lot of times I would tell these guys, I done ran 2 miles in the morning. I'm prepped and ready. I've had a good, breakfast. I've
Already
gone.
done your yoga.
Yeah, I've done all my stretching, and I'm not just getting out of the car going, let me get this cigarette, my coffee, where's my bag? I lost one. I've got 2 different socks on. You know what I mean? I've already been going, ooh, I'm going to get y'all today in my mind. So preparation is a lot. It's your disc. That's part of your preparation. Dave, the other day we were playing Agnes. He's got his umbrella. I mean, it's 5 degrees cooler underneath his umbrella. I mean,
Yeah, it was
so
hot.
you have to be prepared. And that's in all aspects of this game if you want to compete, especially me and Dave playing against the Robert Burgess guy that's 18, 19 years old that's throwing 500 feet. Freddie, these guys are just, they're killers. And we're like, oh, okay, well, we got to go do this again. And I like it in our divisions, or now that we're playing it more open, the one round a day or it's better for me. I mean, I can muscle up 2 rounds, but I have to, I call it disking up. At Wynwood, whenever we played the second round, I'm in a spot, I'm thinking I'm going to throw this putter up there, and I'm going, okay, take your spider, throw it a little higher, and you don't have to throw it as hard, and I can get the same control, and I don't have to throw it as hard, because whenever I throw hard, just for myself, I lose aim because I'm worried about power. So, and then especially if I'm tired, I want to just go disc up, throw something a little smoother, easier. It's going to get a little more glide, and I get a better. And actually, the 3 times that I did it on the back nine, that white spider that's just real beefy, it was basically leaning on the pole for a tap in 3, and I was like, okay, I'll take that all day.
Mm-hmm. Those are always good.
Great information.
Well, we've had a good time talking with you tonight, Michael. Thank you for spending the time with us. I really like that painting behind you there. It's a sweet.
Yeah.
What is that?
I got that in an auction. I think, was it an auction?
Did you get that in auction?
This is a waffle, yeah.
A waffle, yeah. I've got some, and that's another thing, guys. If you're out there in the community and these guys are raffling stuff off, I mean, put your bid in. We're all doing it for a big cause. I don't think everybody's out here to make $1 million, selling paintings or anything like that. It's all for a good cause.
Yeah, I have a couple coming up for our match play in the intermediate division coming up real soon. I have a couple more. We're also going to waffle off. We're going to waffle a. I think we're going with. Go ahead, Chris.
A Zuka cart.
A Zuka cart, yeah, because Griff did so well with his waffle, so we're gonna be pushing that out.
But before we do end, I did forget something a little bit earlier, and it was a shout out to Freddie Mason. That's why I brought my hat, because Freddie and I have a love of these hats. If you haven't noticed, I got quite a few, and Freddie, he loves them as well. But congratulations to Freddie Mason right now. I do believe it's over, but he has taken 3rd and Rookie of the Year in the PDGA. Yeah, quite an accomplishment. I know AP called him out and said he got 3rd a couple years back, and now Freddie's gotten it. So who's going to be next? Who's going to be that next player from our area who steps up? I have a couple guesses. I think Charlie Moore.
My guesses. Yeah.
I think Charlie Moore's out there. He's really putting in the work.
You got Robert. Kid. You got Montenegro.
Robert. Montenegro's got a few years to still.
Yeah, he's. I've talked to him. I've gotten to play some rounds with John, and I really appreciate it. He's a cool kid. He's got his baseball thing in school, and he's going to do that. But look for him in about 3 or 4 years, unless something changes in the meantime. But he has
congratulations
skills.
to Freddie on that for taking.
Yeah, good job, Freddie. Man, we love having Freddie.
Of him, that's for sure. And you know what? Y'all are talking about cool people and just someone who brings a great vibe. I don't know how many times you've got to play with him, Michael, but Freddie, he is just one of the nicest people. And when he plays, he exudes that exact same feeling that y'all both do. And it's just a pleasure not only to be, I consider him a friend in the disc golf community, but to be able to watch him progress and be able to put him on film and be able to get him out there and get everybody else to be able to see how talented he is. It's just been a pleasure. And I hope that wonderful things come his way in the future. That's for sure.
Yeah. Congrats on third.
Hey,
no,
you're talking about third.
Amazing player. Yeah.
We're not talking about third in the city.
I know.
Third in the north side. We're not talking about third in
I was just giving him a hard time, man, if he happens to be listening.
Now we got to play against him this Saturday. Well, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Hey, Michael, you said something a little bit earlier that kind of got my brain thinking, and Hemi knows how it is with this match play thing. But when you said that you and Hemi team up against anybody, I can think of Freddie and a partner. I can think of a few people and some partners, and I can see some great disc golf being had by all of you. And
well, I'll tell you what.
My brains are working right now. So don't remember what you said, because I'm going to hold you both to it. And then I'm going to see how we can maybe get some other of these teams finagled into being just as interested.
Hey, where would that be? Where would that event be, in your opinion, Michael? Where would you do a match play doubles event?
I mean, that's the
against
thing.
the best of the best. Against the best of the best now. You're going to really have to challenge you two.
So that's the thing. I mean, you couldn't put us out in Evergreen. Evergreen is a great course, and it's a technical one. But I mean, you want something that's going to mix it all up, where we got to throw some long shots. We got some lefties, some righty holes, some putter
maybe
shots.
2 rounds. Maybe 2 rounds.
I would say, yeah. You'd have to incorporate two rounds, and not on the same day, because me and Dave pushing 107 together between us, unless it's gonna be like October when it's cooler. But I mean,
it will be cooler because our cameras don't last. We've learned through the summer we can't get them to last in 2 rounds. Hell, they don't last through 18 holes.
I was thinking Tat. I'm thinking Tat
would be a great course.
And Winwood, because they're pretty close together, I guess. Not too far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not above either one of those because they're both technical, and that's the thing. You have to put a little bit of everything into the match, where the long bombers just ain't going to come out and beat us because they throw farther than us. They're going to have to break out that putter or that spider out of their bag, and let's see what they got,
I like it. I like Tat.
I like it a lot.
That's my thing, too. I think we should, I think we should put some cash on it and then take some of that money.
Oh, there's going to be cash.
Yeah, and then take some of that money out and put it to a good use, maybe. Hey, and also, too, Meredith, I don't know if Meredith is watching. If y'all have any other ladies that want to get into the Texas States that need funding for, their entry fee, I'm definitely down for paying for one of the ladies to get into
Mike.
Any, it don't have to be that one. It can be any of them. If there's a lady out there that, with the COVID and with everything that's going on, God has blessed me. So if there's a tournament, Nacogdoches is coming up. There's all kind of tournaments. If there's a lady that wants to go, hit me up. I'm down. I'll pay it. That's not that big a deal. I mean, it's a blessing to be able to do it.
It is a big deal, Mike, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
It's what we're supposed to do.
Amen to that. Amen.
Well, I guess we're going to have to match that then.
Of course we are. That's what we do. We're here to promote and
all right.
Well,
we got you. So if any ladies out there listening, we got 2 ladies sponsored for Texas States or whatever event coming up.
And as well as I do, the biggest thing that matters to me is I don't like to always promote just the open guys. Nothing against you two, But my heart lies in all the divisions because I want to bring attention to all the up and comers along with those who are just starting. So the ladies, if you want to play whatever division it is,
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
open.
definitely.
It could be whatever it is that you want to play in. You come and contact us, and we got one of y'all in there because I think it's just as important to support the top as it is to those who are trying to get there. So
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
how I feel.
Definitely.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you so much. I cannot wait to see what comes in the future, especially with my mind working with y'all's match play. But I've had a pleasure not only meeting you now and being able to cover you in a couple of rounds and play with you now in a couple of rounds. Man, it's been great tonight, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I know Hemi appreciates it, but I want you to know how much I appreciate it as well. It's been a pleasure. It really has been a wonderful, wonderful pleasure.
That's
I
right.
appreciate it, guys.
And also I wanted to tell you too, Michael, that we haven't had a lot, numbers wise, we haven't had a lot of people viewing, but we had some quality people chiming in on the comments today. And John Maero was one of them. I know you probably know John. John and Chris Sprague. So two of the guys that I admire most in the disc golf sport were listening tonight. So thank you guys for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in and to hear what Michael has to say. But I just wanted to end up. First of all, I want to give you a chance to give any shout outs or thanks that you might have, Michael. I know you. I'm not sure if you're, I don't think you're sponsored, but and you should be if you ever wanted to be. But I'm sure there are people that you'd like to thank out there. But
Oh,
but anyway, let me just say first of all, from my my parting words are that you inspire me, Michael, and you inspire me not only to be a better disc golfer, but just to be a better person and to continue on the route that I'm on as far as the yoga and staying clean and doing that stuff. It really means a lot to me, man. Just so you know. Anyway, thanks a lot. So I'll give you the floor and you can finish out. Thanks again, Mike. So who do you got? Who do you want to thank? What's your
Man,
shout out?
it's all by the grace of God. So everything that I do is for Him. I mean, y'all see my hat; it always says "My faith in God." I mean, and that's the utmost. But I mean, the people that have brought me into this sport, Jake Walsdorf, that brought it here to this town. I mean, if he wouldn't have come from Louisiana and designed Jack Brooks, Ben Allen, the guy that knows my game better than I do, and he's a
And he
advanced
just
player.
chimed in. He's watching right now too.
Yeah, I mean, Griff, these guys, y'all guys that are running these tournaments. I mean, the everybody that runs a tournament that puts in their time and their effort for us just to come out and play something that we do. I'm not a sponsored player. I throw only end of a disc. Everybody knows that. I've been working on my trying to be humble, but I tell you what, bring all your sponsored players to me. I'll beat them. Eventually, one day they're going to eventually have to go, dude, we got to give this guy some new plastic because I'm going to continue to keep throwing them. I mean, I'm sponsored by the good Lord, and by the grace of God, I'm here today, sober, and it's a great living. I mean, I'm a millionaire on the inside, and so I'm just grateful to guys like y'all. It's the most peaceful thing to have a true friend. I just put out that we were going to be at Agnes Moffett, and y'all cats just showed up. We had a great round. I mean, just watching and learning and playing. So just everybody really, it's just great to be able to get out and play.
Yeah. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it. We'll see you out there. I'll be out there tomorrow. I don't know if you're gonna.
I gotta put in some work tomorrow. My regular job that pays the bills, keeps the lights on.
And just in case anybody's watching tomorrow, there's a charity event out at Moffett, and the Gorilla guys will be out there with some good plastic too, so you can cash in on some of the best plastic in town and probably some merchandise, some shirts and stuff like that.
Kids, if you're out there, pick you up a TL3 and throw it straight and watch what it does, and then just annihilate the courses with this disc. I can go to any course with a TL3 and a putter and be competitive. And this is just something for everybody to have fun with. You'll love it. Y'all guys have a good one.
Peace, Mike.
Hey,
Brother.
Chris Sprague just commented that he'll send us some team discs, so we'll have some special prizes coming up.
Nice.
And he's an Innova guy, so he's got
Nice.
those TL3s. But yeah, I'm inspired. I'm gonna go buy some TL3s now. But yeah, thanks, Michael. We love you. We'll see you
y'all
out
have a
there.
good one. Love y'all guys.
All right,
Bye.
man.